Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast. This is this week's main cast. A lot has happened this week. LGBT marching out together will design a mural in the city, and there will be a raffle. We'll get Wiggy on for the details for that in a bit. Leeds United women signed Sandra Suarez Martins.
She sounds good.
Yeah, very good. Leeds were drawn against Crewe in the Carabao Cup. More on the tickets.
Were they?
That.
Don't know about that.
So we'll talk about that. Marcelo Bielsa signed a new contract, as did Ilan Melier. Rafinha and Click were called up for international duty. Ayling scored a beautiful goal on Saturday. And the only other thing that happened on Saturday was Leeds United under-18s beat Everton 2-1. Nothing else. Leeds women beat Stockport 1-0. 23s beat Crystal Palace in London 3-1 in a game that saw 9 cards, 2 missed penalties, a scuffle, great goals, and a sending off. And you can vote for Calvin Phillips for England's Player of the Year. For everyone going to the game on Saturday, our Peacock Barney has suggested you wear a white rose in acknowledgement of all those lost. Since our last home game with supporters was against Huddersfield early last year. My name's Adonis, and you know me as the Adelites on Twitter. Very good hello from me. And joining us is our chairman of the board, Wiggy, at Wiggy1234.
Hi, lads. You okay?
Very good, thank you. Wiggy, tip top. And Machiavelli, the Prince of Darkness himself, at Ewan Metcalf.
Good evening, everybody.
Right, where should we start, Ewan? Tickets?
Should we start with tickets? Should we start with websites and tickets?
I don't think there's any problem with tickets, but I think Ewan's got an issue with them.
Fuck you off, Wiggy, fuck you off. All right for you. You're in with club. You're like a big mister, aren't you? Like marching on together. I wish I could march on with some fellow fans. I can't even get to the fucking ground. I've only been going since 1984. I won't dwell or bit, drag this out. The fucking website's an embarrassment. I'm sorry, but that's the way to engage with your fan base. That's the way to make it simple for people to engage with you, get tickets, buy merchandise. It's a fucking joke. I'm sorry. I've had loads of messing on today trying to buy a ticket from just myself in the northeast corner. It keeps telling me there's a problem with a basket. Like I know I'm a basket case, but don't fucking take the mickey. But yeah, just loads of issues. We just try to get tickets. And then the disappointing thing is my lads were like, oh, can we go? Can we go? And I was like, yeah, all right, well, we'll get 3 tickets like you would have done, before. Not just when we were in the Championship, but when we were in the Premier League before, you could get cup tickets quite easily. Oh, no, you can only get 1 ticket because you're the only member. Your kids aren't members. Well, I don't want to pay 30 quid for both, 60 quid for my kids to be members to go to the odd game here and there. And I do think it's embarrassing. I pay money to get the priority on the league tickets, what's they call it, the ticket exchange and all that. So as a parent, I get I've paid for that extra to get number 1 priority. They can have a membership and they only get number 2 priority, which means they're probably not going to see a ticket anyway. So you pay for that membership to get tickets for your children, and they're in a different sort of pot to you when it comes to getting tickets, which just makes it embarrassing as a family. They want to promote football as a family sport and to go with your children and family stands and all this. It's a fucking joke, man. You can't get a ticket with your children. The family stand's an embarrassment because you can't get to the toilet at half time. You can't get into there with your children because it's the queuing past the concessions. Get it sorted, Brad Rosani. You've done amazing. Yeah. You've got a brilliant BLC. You bought a brilliant team. We're back in the Premier League. You bought the ground. I'm fucking annoyed, all right? So get off you.
I think you make some valid points, like the Carabao Cup.
Thank you, Wiggy.
In amongst the abuse.
Yeah. I tried to get rid of the abuse and kind of build on what you're saying, but I think, seriously, the Carabao Cup, they're opening the full stadium. If they're opening the full stadium, you would expect that's done. As an example, I tried to go on last night to just book my season ticket, and I couldn't get it to work. So I've given it up. So I might not go now. I can't be bothered because my seat's probably gone. And then what you're saying is exactly that. This is your opportunity to engage new fans, isn't it? To engage your lads, to get them in, because you're right. They're not going to get a ticket for a home game. No. None of the money. That's never going to happen. So how do you try to do that? You do that through your cup games, where people probably won't go or won't attend. And I think you're right. I think it's been a complete shit show, this Carabao Cup, trying to get people to be at Crewe at home, because that's what we can say to you. And if you don't go, like, were you at Crewe at home in 21? No, you won't.
It's embarrassing, and you know what? The loyalty, making it a loyalty game as well, is embarrassing, because then people just pay the 15 quid to get a ticket for Liverpool or whatever. It's not reaching your hand out to, like I say, young children like mine who, my lads play football on a weekend. They're not always bothered about going on a Saturday. They've got other things that they do. But that Tuesday night, it's a perfect opportunity to have a 10 and a 12-year-old kid who love Leeds United, always have loved Leeds United. I've never had to convince them, partly because they'd have to live outside in shed if they did support anybody else. But that's another story. But that's your perfect opportunity as a club to get them in and get in behind the team. And maybe there will be some players that the club they don't know might play on Tuesday that, I didn't know he's a good player, engaging him with new faces in the team or younger players. And they're not going to go. And you know what, like you, Wiggy, I give up. I think, you know what, I'm not that asked about Crewe on a Tuesday night anymore. And you've made it so difficult and so contrived and so complex to be able to get involved in that. Sod you. I hope the ground's half empty, because that'll show you how you're getting it wrong. So
I think what the issue is here is probably membership, isn't it? That's what we're kind of complaining about.
And that's a joke, man. Membership last year, you paid 50 quid or whatever. You got a shitty fucking trillion. Where is it? Thrown it on the floor somewhere. Fucking what? Right? You get a bloody a bottle opener that sang marching on together for about 3 seconds and broke. And then you get this. The reason I got it this year was for that ticket priority, and it's going to be a farce. I told you that I'll never see a ticket. Am I going on a bit too much here?
Yeah. So thanks for joining us.
It's entertaining me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know. You were all calm till I started. Now you're all wound up.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the podcast. That's it for this evening. We'll see you later.
Yeah, good night, God bless. Been a pleasure. I'm off. I'll see you later. I'm off to go look at my laptop case and wallow in the glory of having a bottle opener.
I'm just trying to pick through the emotions and find some solutions. That's all. So I think maybe if you bundled a junior membership with an adult membership, or 2 junior memberships with 1 adult membership, something like that, that could be one possible solution. I think when you go into the source code and you see that there's 30,000 individual people or devices trying to get a ticket, then and probably there's not that many tickets, especially for away games, for example, then it does become a lottery. So then it kind of reduces the value of the membership even more. So I do think that's a problem. I think the Carabao Cup will always go on general sale.
Of course, yeah.
So I wouldn't be too worried, but I think it is a problem when season ticket holders can't get their seat.
Yeah, it's not. Listen, I'm being facetious and being a bit over dramatic about my circumstances, but the point is that we talk offline, on the group, and everybody has issues with certain bits when it comes to engaging with that website and engaging with the club when it comes to getting things that you're entitled to because you've paid for. And I haven't seen my membership card or my pack as garbage or otherwise as it might be. I've not seen it. Season started. I've not seen it. I haven't got a card. I haven't got a pack. I haven't got a bottle opener. My laptop's without a case. I'm like a poverty stricken here. It's a bit embarrassing, really. And as I said, there's just some things. We're Premier League in lots of realms and lots of ways now, more than we've been for a very long time. But there's certain things just need looking at, and they are things that matter to the fans that go to the ground and experience buying tickets or whatever. Wiggy's. What people will say to me is, "Get a season ticket, you, and don't be so tight." Well, that's impossible now. Well, you should have had one for years. Listen, I'll do what the fuck I want. I don't have to have had a season ticket. I've gone since I was 13 years of age, week in, week out, home and away. I've had a box at Ellen Road when we were in League One, paid for a box on the halfway line in East Stand. Fuck you. I'll do what I want. If I can't get a ticket now, I'm entitled to moan about it, and I will moan about it, and you'll have to put up with it, or, don't.
Excellent. Glad we got to the bottom of that. And
there you go.
Could give Ewan some free therapy.
I've got a beer now, so I'm relaxed.
Enjoy.
A few comments then. And Nora says, "Wiggy!"
Yeah, Wiggy. It's great to see Wiggy.
Yeah. Been too long.
Yes.
Wardy as well, all rocking beautiful barnets. Thank you very much.
Jesus, I'm not sure about that. Freshly shaved and suntanned. I don't know about Barnet. But...
Paul Homboy, our infrastructure and ground needs to catch up with the team. I do feel they're trying to sort it out.
Yeah, probably so.
Nora says they must really. The online shop has already been redone. At least there's one for outside the UK now, which is much better than before. And she also says Ewan is doing his opening rant. Me clicks the like.
As is my one. Exactly. Nora loves a Metcalf rant, doesn't she? A big Mac rant.
I am sure, and I'm sure I've heard this, that the ticket plan and it is to be rolled out next year in terms of a new system, because I think they realise it's outdated and creaking or broken. So, let's hope that brings the improvements it needs to. But yeah, it does need sorting, and I believe it's in plan, but let's see.
Heart's in the right place.
You sound very gravelly, Wiggy.
It does.
Clear me throat. There we go. That better.
Yes, a little bit.
You all look sexy in your Leeds tops. Anyway, I've worn a kind of fashion version of yours, Donny.
I like that. Yeah, I like it. I'm wearing some camo down below.
Oh, I hope what's coming out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nice. I wondered what we're going to see then.
There you go. You weren't going to see anything.
And he's got his lovely new away shirt with no Premier League badge, because he's too tight to buy a Premier League badge. Yeah. He'll have the back done and everything else done.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Ayling. Although he has much better hair than me. And thanks to my mum, by the way. This was actually a birthday present to Nora.
Oh, nice.
My mum got me the home shirt. So, Wiggy, can you bring us back to some positivity? Not that you weren't positive.
Honest, mate, just honest.
Anger positive.
Just honest, mate. I'm never negative. Just honest.
Wiggy, tell us about what Marching Out Together is doing. The mural and the mysterious mural and the non-mysterious raffle.
Yeah. So the mural, we bidded for funding earlier this year from Leeds Inspired, I think it's called, and it's a partnership with us, East Street Arts, and Leeds United, and it's to create a mural on a tall building. It's on the A64 on York Road, so it's on the flyover, big building, great location. We've just announced the artist, and for my memory, I can't remember, but it's an internationally renowned one, and Nick Ward will go mad at me because he's the one who sorted everything. But it's the person who did it at the side of the train station. They did that mural, and it's a fantastic mural. So they're all sorted. So we've got the funding, but obviously we're a little bit short, and therefore we've had some fantastic donations. So we've got the scissor lift donated, but we need some money for some paint and some things like that. So we've got a raffle, which was launched yesterday. We've already sold over 200 tickets, which is brilliant. Tickets are only £2. £2. You can't get half a lager for £2 nowadays. What a bargain, eh? And for that, we have got 3 great prizes. We've got an 06-07 shirt signed by the first team. We've got an under 21's rainbow t-shirt that was worn last year, and the signed captain's armband signed by Charlie Cresswell. And then the grand prize is the Football versus Homophobia Rainbow Football, which is signed by the first team from the 2021 season. So Rafinha's on there, and Rodrigo, and all your stars that you want is on there. And for just £2, the link, if you follow Marching Out Together, will be published all the time. You can enter with a chance to win, and it's all done through the website called Raffle, and they basically do everything. So once the raffle shuts, they draw it and they tell us who's won. It's a great service, actually. If you're ever doing a raffle, use it because it's quite straightforward.
Who would have thought this would turn into an advert for Raffle?
Yeah, there you go.
When's the tombola on and the meat raffle? We get
the white elephant.
Yeah. Is it East Street Arts that are doing it?
Yeah, it is. and it's on their building actually. So it's a really great location, and we're so chuffed with the location, with the artists we've got, and I can't believe I forgot
Jake Gilliard.
Thank you. That's the one.
AKA C Blocks.
Yes,
Blocks is obviously spelt with a double X.
Yes, that's the one. But yeah, it's really exciting. We were hoping to have it done for the new season, but there's one or two things just take a bit of time. But we're nearly getting there. It should be done very soon, and everything's in order now to get it done. So yeah, enter the raffle. That's my bit as marching out done. Then I'm just going to be a peacock again now.
Right. So what you can do
well
is
done, Wiggy. Well done.
Yeah, fantastic work there, Wiggy.
Yeah.
You can visit Marching Out Together on Twitter. And find a link to the website Raffle, where you can pay £2 and be in with a chance to win all of those prizes, and also be given to a good, worthwhile cause. Okay, let's get it over and done with, and let's get Max ire up again. Saturday.
Oh, listen, I was mad enough before. Come on, don't start this shit.
So I'll start.
Please do. Just
well, you and Gavin. So it was like, I thought we were really sloppy the first half. I don't think we were great, but we were okay. So you go in 1-0 at half time, and you're looking and you think we've got half a chance here. Like hopefully he'll have a decent team talk, maybe make one or two changes, and we should be okay here. Come out second half. 3 minutes go by, Ayling scores that thundercracker, and you go, we're fucking going to do this. Like, I was in the pub and I was like, this is happening. Like, I just could only see one winner then. And then 1 minute later, 2 minutes later, it was just an ultimate collapse and capitulation in front of your eyes. And the next 10 minutes goes by, and for the first time in a long time, at 80 minutes, I was done and I left that pub. I was like, I can't watch any more of it. It's shite. So that would be my summary of that. I thought we were really sloppy. We were always second to the ball, but we give ourselves half a chance getting back in it, and we blew it. And you can't do what we did. You cannot leave them gaps and them spaces to a team like Scum, who have whether we like it or not, have got decent players and can rip you apart. And Paul Pogba, who I think he's shite, just had a field day, didn't he?
Yeah.
There you go. There's my summary of the game.
I think that was summed up very well, Wiggy.
Very well said. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch the game. I had a bad feeling about it. I was out doing something else on Saturday afternoon, and I kind of kept an eye on to my wife's horror when we're out doing other stuff, sort of on my phone, and sort of seeing the score come in. And I knew it was 1-0 to them, and then saw Ayling. I was like, wait, like you, even from a distance, thought that's Leeds. That's our Leeds all over. We're back in it now. We'll probably go on and at least get a draw, possibly win it. And then by the time I'd put my phone down, we were 3-1 down. I was like, that can't be right. That must be somebody winding us up. And yeah, so I think the worrying thing is, first game of the season, you just want to come out and compete, don't you? We obviously had a tough draw, didn't we? You could have got somebody much easier. We got Liverpool last year, Man United this year. I just think with last year, it kind of set the bar high for that first game, didn't it? Where we came out and had a real go. Even though we lost, we were proud, weren't we? This is the opposite, where we lost and we weren't proud, and it was a bit embarrassing. I think that the disappointment for me, again, not having watched the full game and having seen, very, very limited highlights since, because I just don't want to know now. We got beaten, thrashed by them bastards. But it's just that you look at the expectation we created last year. We're finishing ninth with that team, with the wage bill. I mean, I used to work sort of quite close to football people and people who bought clubs and so on and so on. They always used to say the wage bill dictates where you finish in that league. Pretty much, you might have the odd discrepancy here and there, but pretty much, the amount of money you spend finishes you in a certain position. And if you're the top spender, you usually finish first to second, second spender first to second. Bottom spender usually finishes bottom. I think last year we were the third lowest wage bill. Sheffield United, West Brom, Everton were spent 3 times more than us on wages, and were finished a point above us or something, a place and a point above us. Man United's team, I don't know what the stats are, but must be worth, wage bill must be what? I don't know, 8, 6, 7, 8.
It's 5 times more than us.
It seems like it's more, to be honest, but that's where you have to have a reality check and realise that we probably are going to get beat by teams like that. But listen, we're going to get beat by teams. We're going to turn people over. I just hope that we bounce back like we did last year. You know, we had a bad result last year. Straight away, we bounced back and we put it right. You just got to hope they do that. And I've got every faith that they will. You know, they will do that. I still think we're short on 2 or 3 players. I've said that, you know, through pre-season and the other podcasts that we've done. But you've got to say overall that, you know, it's a disappointment. I hate losing to them. I hate losing to anybody, but particularly them. 2-1, fair enough. 5-1, it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? And I don't think we coveted ourselves in glory off the pitch either. And I don't think it was a great atmosphere that we created in the stands. And I don't think it was particularly enamouring what we saw going on around the streets of Manchester. You know, it's having come from a sort of 80s, watching Leeds in the 80s background, it just looked a bit like we've been away for a while and we brought some of the, you know, thickest, stupidest fans to the table. I don't know. It pisses me off a little bit because you want to go and have a square go with somebody and have a go with people. Go do that, but you know, singing stupid songs and just taking over a town centre and pretending to be all hard and waving your handbags at people. I just think it's like, you know, leave that alone. You know, it's not for me. So that's my really negative spin on Wiggy's otherwise brilliant analogy of what happened.
Very nice. Obviously, Ewan's not directing that to every single Leeds away.
No,
so please don't take it personally.
Always a minority, but you know, just a silly minority that get all the headlines in it.
Yep. A few people in the chat then. Nora saying thumbs up for Donny's mum. Nova.
Always.
Good day, Nova. Can't hear shit. Stuck here in a thunderstorm with no earphones, but good evening.
Hello, Nova.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hello.
What's the sign language for hello, Nova?
This, maybe?
Yeah.
Joe Layton, Jay Gilead, that was in reference to the Marching Out Together mural artist. What he says midfield was very, very weak versus Scum. I think a different one we may have stood half a chance. Nova said, isn't Chelsea about 10 times more than us? Even, he's found some headphones now. Didn't need to do all that shouting. Sorry about that. He's probably deaf now. We shouted down his earphones. Paul Homboy, Pogba will never play that well for Man United again. We got caught out a bit and didn't really have any choices. I think we were a little bit unlucky as well because last year it was McTominay, wasn't it? And this year it was Pogba. But let's not talk about them too much, but their quality is unfortunately undeniable.
Well, that said, what I've just said about the budget, we had 2 of our better players that would have probably stemmed some of that, you know, tide of sort of goals going in, missing, you know, in Llorente and Phillips. So again, when you are on a small shoestring budget and you're competing against one of the, you know, the richer teams in the league, you know, you're going to miss those 2 out, and we did miss them. Yeah,
we certainly did. I thought we looked fantastic when Diego Llorente was finally embedded into the first team at the back end of last season.
Indeed.
Right then, a lot has been talked about transfers, but there's still time in the window, so let's give it one more bash. Lewis O'Brien, there's talk about him coming for 7 million. Did you see the compilation of him, of his game the other day?
No, I don't watch him.
No, wasn't particularly inspiring, to be honest. Supposedly Huddersfield went 10 million. We think that that's far too high. Should we be setting our sights a bit higher than somebody from Huddersfield?
Yes, but it's who's available and what's out there and what money's out there. So, you know, I think we're always resigned to the fact that we won't have another window where we spend another 100 million. Like, it's very clear with that in terms of the expectation of the money he's got going in. That don't mean that he's not got the money, but, you know, just because you've got, you know, millions and billions in the bank, do you want to blow it all on a football club? Probably not. I think he's trying to run a business and trying to put in a relative amount to make sure that we make the progress we need to make. But I don't think he can, you know, go out and get a £30 million midfielder. We've got to be realistic of that. Now, I'm hopeful that Shackleton steps up this year. And I don't know how O'Brien compares to him. So I can't kind of put them together and go, well, yeah, he's better than Shaq, so go get him, or he's not, so don't bother. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if a good deal comes up, go for it. If not, this is what we've got until January, and let's just ride it out.
Yeah, I think to use Howard Wilkinson, trust your swing parlance, that you've got to trust your swing with Bielsa. If he's going to trust that lad, he wants to bring him in, Orta's out there getting him in. You've said it loads of times before. You've got to trust him because they've very rarely got it wrong, have they? But he's not inspiring. I think that's the thing. Fans want inspiration, don't they? They want to think, wow, Leeds are now, we're buying players that we shouldn't be, haven't been anywhere near over the last few years. Probably a bit like, possibly Rodrigo Llorente last year, Koch, Rafinha. We were sort of, everybody was buzzing about that. It doesn't mean you have to go break the bank, does it? But it's just seeing those inspirational signings come in. And I don't think Lewis O'Brien from Huddersfield is particularly romantic signing, is it? Not at all. But he must want him. And if he's willing to pay £7 million, £7 million in this day and age is nothing, is it? I mean, was Bamford £7 million? And look what he's turned out to give back to the club. So who knows? Yeah.
I think that deal will go to the wire. I think so. It'll go right up until the end of the window, and then someone will cave in. That'll be Huddersfield going, yeah, take the $7 million, or it'll be us that'll go, right, here's the $10 million. But it'll go to the wire, that one. So don't go to bed yet, folks.
Yeah.
It's mental, that, isn't it? When you think
it's
about
it's a new Jim White. It's a new Jim White.
Bamford costing $7 million, and there was talk of Spurs buying him for 40.
I know.
As a replacement for Kane. I mean,
he's probably more likely to win a title at Leeds, though. So why would you go to Spurs? But yeah, it's I think the problem I've got is that I think we talked about it today, didn't we? And it's probably worth mentioning. People saying that we haven't replaced Pablo is not saying the Pablo of last year. It's saying the Pablo that we brought in that pretty much dragged us to the top of the Championship and through some pretty grim times. We need a player like that. It's all very well getting a workhorse. I mean, even, is it Nandez, whatever, the lad from Cagliari? He don't look like a fantastic footballer. He looks like a grafter and a hard worker, and I think he could do a job maybe in that Phillips role. But the thing I think we miss is somebody who can control the pace, who puts people on the back foot, who can win you a game, and I'm not saying Rafinha won't do it at this level this year. He may well do, but in the middle of the pitch. So like Hernandez was always one of those players that he got the crowd on the feet. He definitely scared the shit out of opposition players. Scoring goals in 17 seconds. Very few people do that and knock one into the top corner after 17 seconds in a game. He was exceptional, and I think we didn't spend a lot of money on him. There's other players, Saiz, I know he had his issues, attitude, and so on and so on, but a player that can ignite the fans and just a little bit of magic and create something from nothing. We just haven't replaced that ilk of player. It's not that we want to get a 36-year-old Pablo Hernandez. We want to get a 27-year-old Pablo Hernandez or something. They must be out there for not ridiculous amounts of money, because we didn't pay ridiculous amounts of money for those players. Now, yeah, we're in the Premier League. People are going to put a premium on those kind of players, and particularly where we are now, in the Leeds being in the Premier League. But yeah, I'd love to see a bit more. I'm sure Orta's working his socks off, and so is Radrizzani. But you just think there's 2 or 3 players light in there that could really make a difference. But as Wiggy's already alluded to, it's got to be for the right money. It's got to be for the right type of player. It's going to fit in. And Bielsa's got to want a money, and ultimately, you can't have identified anybody that we can get for the right money.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you look at someone like Christian Eriksen, he was said to be the new big thing at Ajax, and then he kind of drifted away, and Spurs got him for very cheap, and then obviously he excelled again. But it is quite hit and miss to find a 10 who can play at that level, at this level now. At the Championship, I think it was different story, definitely.
Agreed.
I mean, we got lucky with Pablo, let's face it, on a free. What he was doing in Saudi Arabia, I have no idea. Unlucky with Samu Sayers and all the problems that he had, all the personal issues with moving country and all of that. But if you look at the number 10s that have been bought recently by really ambitious clubs in this league, you're looking at, I think it was it 60 plus for Bruno Fernandes, and he's completely transformed them. And 100 million for our mate, diving champion of the championship, Jack Grealish.
Yeah,
100 million, like it's just ridiculous. The world's gone mad.
Yeah, he had a good game. He had a good game on Sunday, didn't he? It's shite, absolute shite. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure where it's coming from, but you do think we need somebody like that. You do think we need a 10.
Definitely
creative.
Somebody. I mean, the other one is Phillips. We've never, we've known for 2 years when Phillips don't play, we're not the same team, and we just don't seem to have been critical, proactive, and probably aggressive enough in the market to go and get somebody who can step in. And the arguments there, I've had it with people on, Matty, and who's a great lad on the podcast, saying, look, who's going to come and play second fiddle to Phillips? Who's any good? There's got to be young, hungry players who think they'll be able to take Phillips's place, or older lads who are experienced, who are happy to come in and work under Bielsa, and a bit like Strachan, get another 4 or 5 years out of a career that may be coming to an end, that under Bielsa, fitness, diet regime and everything. There's got to be them. It's not just a case of, who's going to come and play under, as Phillips' understudy. It's a case of, if you're a professional footballer, you back yourself, don't you? I'm better than Phillips. I'll go and take that place off him, or you can move him up to play further up the field, and I'll take that position. It's a non-argument for me. It's about getting a player who fits into the mould of the Leeds United sort of way of playing now, who's ambitious, and there's got to be players out there who'll do that.
There's been a few who've tried to fill his boots, haven't there? Koch and Strauch.
The centre halves, though, that's what worries me. It's all right playing that position for Germany. It's not the same as playing in the Premier League. His pace is just ridiculous. He's not good, is he?
But I did think late last season when Koch filled in that place, I don't think he played bad, to be fair. And I thought, finally, we've probably got someone who can do the job that we need him to do. And I think we should not forget that. Like, I know he had a terrible game against Scum, like he was awful. But let's see how he gets on when he plays that role again, because we might not need someone. He might be good enough to do it. He did it last season on a few occasions at the back end, and I thought he was okay there.
Yeah, I do think it's easy to forget that when Phillips was first put there, he found it very tough as well. Was pulled off after 20 minutes, maybe 3 times, something like that. So
yeah, definitely.
I think it would take anybody time. Okay, Nova's saying got to save up for Haaland next summer. That's why we're not.
Which one? Alfie.
If we sell some Carabao Cup tickets, we might be able to afford it.
You get the website sorted out, they might have a bit more money coming in.
Some LUFC dollars. It's all about Forshaw, and we will be okay, says Barney. Yep. Forshaw, another one who could come good.
He loves Forshaw. He loves Forshaw.
He does love Forshaw.
Most positive man I've ever met. It's like, I'm like, nah, don't be stupid. He's like, no, he's going to be brilliant. But there's a footballer in there, definitely, with Forshaw. It's just he's not played at this level. He's been out a long time.
I tell you what, Barney's positivity at times, it does pick you up.
It counteracts my complete negativity. It's chalk and cheese out there.
Brian L., what happened to all the money we gained from bringing 9th last season? We've got a new pitch.
Crypto.
We've got 2 new pitches. We've probably started paying for some of the signings last season. It's got to come from somewhere. And remember, for the last 18 months, we've had no funds going in on match day at all. Yeah. So,
paying for Augustine. We've got to pay for that.
That's too. Yeah.
Lazy shite.
We did lose 60 million, I think, wasn't it, because of COVID? So, and we also took a loan out on the initial TV money in order to sort of buy a lot of those transfers last summer.
Well, nobody's really, apart from Man City and the obvious contenders, nobody's spending a load of money, are they? That's the point. Everybody's been hit hard by that pandemic, and the transfers window for everybody has been pretty dead, I reckon. So you look at your own club differently to everybody else, because you don't really care. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I kind of expect Leeds to be doing something, but of course it's going to have an impact.
It's such a risk as well. I mean, we know more than most clubs how much of a risk spending over your means can do to you. And you only have to look at Barcelona or Real Madrid. Paul Homeboy, do you think the new contracts on top of those for getting promoted has trimmed our sales? Phillips, Bamford, Harrison, Melier, all new ones this season, plus writing off Pablo, Kiko, Gitano's contracts.
Yeah,
Possibly.
Yeah.
Lee Smith says, unless you call Costa.
Don't even the fucking hell. I'm in a bad enough mood already. Don't get me started on Costa.
Oh, Robert.
No. If either of them get near, this is the problem, right? If either of them get near the team, I hate to criticize. No, I don't hate to criticize individuals. Sorry, they've had long enough. It's not like I'm at it for a week. They've been bad for a week. Them two are getting near the first team. Sorry, we're weak. I said it the other day.
Not going to disagree with you, Ewan.
Even I had to.
Wiggy's, well, I'm going to say Wiggy's usually the one voice of reason that comes out and goes, no, Tyler Robson's going to make it good. Barney's the same. I'm not having it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think Roberts can be, he's got more time than Costa, for example, and I think he could improve, but I just don't know where. I think maybe 9. I haven't seen him do much at a 10, and I haven't seen Rodrigo do that either, and he costs 30 million. It's difficult to play in that role.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying the Pablo role, the Phillips role, they are two of the most specialised roles on the pitch, and it's a real challenge. And like you said, Donny, absolutely agree with you on that. You know, Phillips did it and failed a few times, and he's had to learn that role and learn by getting it wrong. So you've got to give people that opportunity. Playing on the wing, it's fucking doddle, so Costa can fucking do one.
Yeah. Lee Smith saying in the Championship, Radrizzani put in close to 40 million of his own cash.
Fair point.
Yeah, I think it was 1.5 mil a month, wasn't it?
Yeah, and never an argument for him. He just wrote the checks as he was asked for them. So
no, you can't criticise him at all. He's been brilliant, and I know I have a go and I get all ranty and get on my high horse, but half of it's tongue in cheek. But I'm not criticising particularly Radrizzani or of course Bielsa, but it's not a bad to be able to voice your opinion, is it? We had this conversation again on the WhatsApp group that it's all right to say I think Bielsa got it wrong. I thought there was things he got wrong on Saturday, having looked back at it, you know, tactically, but that's all right, isn't it? Listen, would I swap him for anybody? No. Would I? No, not at all.
Dean Smith, Big Sam.
Oh, somebody mentioned what's his name? Fucking Davros the Daleks. What's he called? Bloody Burnley. Deitch.
Yeah.
Gravel voice.
Get them all lined up.
Yeah, fucking do one. No, not a chance. Somebody mentioned that they went to Wednesday. What were he called? They were at Palace.
Steve Bruce?
No, the Welsh lad, the Welsh kid. What's he called? Who was at Stoke for ages? Poulis.
Tony Cooley.
Yeah.
No.
That would be me finished off. Never mind Crewe on a Tuesday night. You'd never see me at ground again.
I'll tell you what, you can have my season ticket.
I know, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, that's one good thing is you'd see people throwing the season tickets. I'd be picking them up with my kids, going, "Get that."
Brian L. Koch is not a central defensive midfielder. Also, Strauch is not a CDM either. The one player I would like to see is Shackleton given a go. Shaq's a central midfielder, isn't he?
Was, yeah.
That's where I like to play, yeah.
He's been backup for Ayling for a while now, but I think Drame, off his performance the other night for the under-23s, I think he deserves a go. And I wouldn't mind seeing Shaq in centre of midfield. I did think he played really well towards the end of the Championship. I think there was one game, maybe it was Derby
game. He scored.
Yeah, but he scored.
Yeah, he played great, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Box to box.
I've got a lot of time for him. I think he's been really unlucky with injuries. When he's had half a break, he's got another injury, and it's just been a difficult time for him. And I feel sorry for the lad. And I hope he does get some minutes this season. I really do. But you just don't see on straight away where they're coming from. And I think he's probably despondent as well. I mean, he doesn't seem it, but you would be if you're sat there thinking I'm next in line, and then he shuffles the pack and puts everyone everywhere. And he don't get a chance, and you think, well, where's it going for him? So, I think this season's make or break whether he'll be at Leeds United, that's for sure.
Well, I think there was talk of him going on loan this season. So, I mean, he's obviously fought his way back into contention. So, yeah.
If he gets a run and he does well, he's homegrown, and he'll be thought of in the same way as Phillips is. I'm sure if he does well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
He's quick and he's got those physical attributes. He's fit and he gets up and down the pitch. He's got an engine on him. So you'd think he'd be perfect for a Bielsa type team. I just don't think he's possibly suffering from that, not knowing his best position, and maybe the club not knowing his best position. Phillips got moulded into that place he plays now, and don't know where Shaxs is going to fit in. I mean, you almost think he could play that position, be the stand-in for Phillips, but possibly not.
Certainly got that bite about him. Lee Smith, do you think we're pushing Rodrigo into the number 10 position because of his price tag?
Probably. Like, if he's insistent on playing Bamford, which he absolutely is, you've got to probably put him in there somewhere because he's a £30 million player. Yeah. But equally, the flip of that is I don't see Bielsa doing what he don't want to do. And if it meant he went on the bench, then he goes on the bench. I think this season, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think Bamford will have as good a season as he did last season. He may go a few games without a goal, and it's whether Bielsa bites the bullet and drops him and plays Rodrigo in at 9. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. He was bought. I think he was bought as a striker, wasn't he? And he's been sort of slotted into that 10, and I don't think he's a 10. There's times where he looks good, but he looks good further up the pitch, coming and getting the ball short. I'm not having that. But when he's around the box, he looks good because that's where he wants to play. I mean, the game against Burnley last year, end of the season when he played 9, he was outstanding for that. What was it, 25-minute cameo? But you've got to do it for 90 minutes in this league, and in the big time now, it's no good turning up for 25 minutes and scoring that trick or scoring a cup or whatever. You've got to do it for 90 minutes week in, week out. And, Bamford, you see when he don't play how much they miss him up front, and that's been the same. It's a bit like Phillips, isn't it? When he don't play, generally speaking, we look like a much worse team. So it's a tough argument for Rodrigo to replace him unless it's on form.
Yeah, I mean, Rodrigo looked classy with some of those finishes
towards
the end of last season. Yeah. But I think Bamford ran the most of any player in the Premier League, some weird stat like that. And it's because he's constantly being shouted at by Bielsa and constantly trying to
Well, I haven't done Roberts any good. He's constantly shouting at him as well. He's still shit. Sorry.
Run, Tyler!
Yeah, more Tyler. Good Tyler, more.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You got to love Bielsa. Ian Pervader. On his way out, alone, maybe, says Phil Hay. Okay. For me, he hasn't produced any end product or enough. Happy with that?
Yeah, early last season, I thought he started I think the game that's sticks in my mind, Man City came on, looked really good, was going at him, and you thought if he kicks on here, for me, he's next in line as a winger over Costa. And I think he got injured, didn't he? And he just kind of never came back and kicked on. Then in pre-season, he looked like he bulked up. He'd been sent away to, add a bit of weight, add a bit of muscle, and come back. And he looked lean, trim, and everything you'd want. But again, I think something's gone on for me. I don't think it's as black and white as he's just not in and around. I think he's had a falling out with Bielsa, and that's going that way.
He keeps getting Instagram videos of him twerking up against sort of like Costa Rican girls, doesn't it? It's like, I'm sure that's not going to endear him to Bielsa. I've got to be honest. But I think with Pervader, you're right, with the Man City game where he came on and looked really good, but we were in the ascendancy, I think, and there was a big gap between there and when he got the injury where he could have impressed and he didn't. He just didn't seem to kick on and get any better.
Yeah.
Bit lightweight. It's definitely, again, you can see there's some skill in there. I think there was a game where he should have gone down for a penalty. I can't remember where that was now. And he sort of stayed on his feet and he won some admiration for that. It might have been that City game.
No, I think it was Palace from memory.
There was a game where he should have gone. He got Everton, or there was a game where he should have gone down anyway. And he didn't.
I remember it. I remember screaming at the telly.
Yeah, we had the conversation on the podcast, didn't we? Saying if he'd have fallen, he'd probably got a penalty, but he didn't. But you could see bits and flashes of it. But I think when you're a winger, you've got to produce more often. It's a bit like when you watch kids play. You watch a winger at a kids game. If you take it down to its simplest form, flashes of greatness and then nothing for quite a long periods of time. And when you're doing that at a professional level, that ain't acceptable, is it? You've got to find your way into the game, come inside like Rafinha does, go short. And he's probably suffering from the same illness as Costa, where he's not producing enough and he's not doing it, week in, week out, or even minute by minute. He's not involved enough. You look at Harrison and Rafinha. One of the things in that team is when you're watching those players play, you stand out as being a bit lazy or not really putting yourself about enough or getting involved enough, because they really do. So it's almost exaggerated by the fact that you're playing with players like that on the same pitch. It does look like you stand out as not contributing enough. So, yeah, I think probably it might do him some good to get out on loan, play more often, to be honest, Donny. And I think that I always look at Beckford, when Beckford came, and he came on a couple of times and we were watching, it was like, fucking hell, who's that? He's terrible, And we went to Scunthorpe, I think it was, and bloody hell, he came back and almost straight away it was like, is that the same player? He's unbelievable. So, let's hope, there's a few in the Leaf Davis, others that have gone out on loan, which you kind of think you might not see him again in the Leeds shirt, but I hope that some of them do go away and do what Beckford did and give the club no choice but to bring them back and, put them in, get them involved.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. Lee Smith, we hear a lot about Bielsa keeping the lads in the under-23s rather than going out on loan, but you hear players saying going on loan was the best thing for them, which is what you were saying, Mac. Brian L, Poveda, Roberts, Costa, all three need to go on loan or best outcome, sell them.
Nice one. Glad I'm not alone on that.
This is your dummy account, no? You're doing this
just
under the table with your phone.
Typing. Yeah.
What's a good name? Brian L.
Brian L.
Wardy says Chelsea was when he should have gone down.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Lee Smith, would regular football benefit Shaq's, say, by loan spell? And I think we've covered that too. So Everton, gentlemen.
Go on, Wiggy.
Yeah, I'm first and foremost, I'm just really excited to get back to Ellen Road. I think I can't wait to see some members of marching out together. I can't wait to meet some peacocks and just see people and again just another step back to normality. So really excited first and foremost to go and have a good day. In terms of the game, I'm really worried about this one. It's the second game of the season, and I'm really should be worried about the second game of the season. But I just think if we lose this game, oh my God, Twitter is going to be a meltdown, and I'm quitting. I'm not going on there for at least a week because it will just melt down. I think for me, there's got to be a performance, and that's the main thing. We've got to turn up and we've got to have a good game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he names the same team and people are going, no, I want Firpo in and I want Phillips in. But how many times has he done it when we've had a spanking and everyone said, we need to change this, we need to change that. And he's put the same team out and it's turned out all right. So I think he will change summer, but I won't be surprised if he didn't. So yeah, we've got to give a performance, but I'm worried and I hope we do and I hope we get a result. But yeah, it's the second game of the season. Let's try not get too worried.
Yeah, I think agreed. I'm not, rightly or wrongly, I'm not confident, and I think it's just because that start, and you've got to forget, you've got to remember that it's Man United and they've got when they turn up, they've got an amazing team and they spent a fortune on that team, haven't they? So I think when we played Everton last year, it was probably quite similar, where it was, don't know if we expected to get anything, but we played brilliant, and obviously Rafinha snatched the winner. Let's hope we do the same again. We've always been really brilliant at bouncing back, and I think Wiggy's right. I think you've got, get Phillips back in the team. I'm sorry, but if you want half a chance of going there and doing something, I'd love to see, a fit, obviously 100% fit Calvin back in that team. But regardless of whether he changes anything else, that's a given for me. But again, trust the process. He'll do what he's going to do, and hopefully we'll get a result. And I feel jealous and all those words, but proud, for everybody getting back and kind of excited for other people. I'm not going to be there on Saturday. I can't get bloody near the stadium, innit? I can't even get on the website and get a ticket for Crewe. Never mind Everton. You know what I'm going to say though, really quick. Fucking Everton. they had it on the website today. It went on ticket to sale to members. So I goes on and it said good availability in the East Stand and in certain parts of the West Stand. You go on and there's no tickets available. So it's another criticism of a terrible, terrible website. But I hope you have a brilliant day, Wiggy, and all those that are going. I think it'll be amazing. Being back in the stadium, full stadium, what an atmosphere it'll be. And hopefully it'll have a positive effect on the team and the atmosphere will be, I am jealous that I'm not going to be there. And, maybe I won't be at as many games as I'd like to be anymore. That's modern football now. You've got to be organised and be on it and get your tickets sorted and not throw your computer against wall when the website don't let you get a ticket. But I'm not that guy anymore. But have a great day, and I think it'll be great for the fans. It'll be amazing. I think Barney, you mentioned about getting these white roses out for all the lost players that we've lost through the pandemic that we've not had a chance to say goodbye to. What a great day it's going to be! Amazing. I think I've got my kids that day, but I still might bring them just at Peacock just to meet with you lads and just experience match day. And I get where water can't, so you never know. I might end up in an executive box somewhere, like with the two lads.
Yeah. So last season we won 1-0 at Goodison Park. We lost 1-0 at Ellen Road. So it's very tight, isn't it? We know how Rafa Benitez will set up. He'll set up very solid, probably 4-4-2 or something of that ilk. They'll be tough to break down. They'll try and hit us on the break. They'll try and put lots of crosses in towards Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. So I think it'll be difficult. It'll be tricky. It's one of those players where one of those games where you do need a little bit of magic, and Rafi gave that to us last season, didn't he? He took it on himself. I think all the things that you said, Ewan and Wiggy, is like emotional day. Yeah, very jealous of everyone who'll be there, but living outside the country for 15, 16 years or whatever it is now, I've gotten quite used to it, and it'll just be so good to see crowds, the Ellen Road crowd in the ground again. I don't think there'll have been an atmosphere like it since probably the playoff semi-final. I think it'll be that emotional and that loud.
Yeah. Be amazing. Be a great day to be there, and hopefully we get the result. That's the most important thing. It'd be pretty depressing. Whatever happens, a bit like that semi-final. If you don't get the result, it matters for nothing, does it? So I hope they give the fans what the fans deserve, because having supported the club through the last 16, 17 years to get back in the Premier League, I hope the players, unlike Saturday, turn up and give us the performance and a result that we all want and all need, really, to, as you say. I'm less and less going on Twitter, less and less now, because it's a complete cesspit for lots of things, but particularly when Leeds lose, it's just horrific. So it's a car crash of a platform now, isn't it? So just, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Barney, leave it alone. Don't get involved, mate.
Yeah, Barney.
You can mute words and you can mute people. Yeah. You can even block them.
You'd have no going on. No, you'd have no timeline, would you? If you muted and blocked all the stuff, you'd literally be on your own. You might as well just sit in your own room and forget about social media.
So as Barney mentioned there, and I put it on screen again, if everybody who goes wears a white rose to the game, just to show your support for the people who've been lost in the pandemic. The reason why we weren't at the ground. Paul Homeboy, a fit Calvin and we win. I hope. If we lose, we have to remember how we got here. I really think we are short-handed. Nora says we're going to win 3-1. There you go. Place your bets and gamble responsibly. Joe Layton says, if Calvin starts, who are your two centre-backs?
Tough in it. I'd say Koch and Stroik, really.
Or Llorente and Cooper, depending on who's fit.
Yeah,
well, there you go. I'd love that if Llorente's back, mate. I'd have him straight in, no question whatsoever. Especially against Calvert-Lewin in the air and sort of physically. But if not, no disrespect to Cooper. I think he's a great lad and a brilliant player. But if you had to ask me now, I think there's an argument for Cooper and Stroik, isn't there? I don't think that, but it's just, I'd personally Koch and Stroik for me.
Okay. Same with you, Wiggy.
Yeah, definitely.
Bandy Fornoski It was a poor performance from us. I've never seen Bielsa so upset in the post-match interview. I believe that we can cope in this league with the players that we have. Bamford, for as good as he is, doesn't frighten anybody. Somebody alongside him would be more potent. Home performance, we must make Leeds, Ellen Road, a fortress like the good old days. He just said like the old days. I put the good old days for. I must be getting old. Must win or draw most home games. I hope our players are not too emotional against Everton. Strike and Llorente is our strongest pairing, says Barney. Okay, just about time, isn't it?
It is, because I've got a meeting to get to.
Right. So we'll see you all again for a match review on Sunday. My name's Adonis. Thank you very much for joining us. You can find me at the Adelites on Twitter and at Peacock Roars.
What?
Peacock's Raw.
Pardon? Who?
Which is the Twitter account for the podcast. We've been joined by Big Mac, the king of trickery himself, Machiavelli at Ewan Metcalf.
Good night, God bless all.
And chairman of the board, Wiggy 1234.
Good night. Thank you, everyone. I hope this was therapeutic for you, Ewan.
Yeah, it was. It's cathartic. I feel much better now. Thanks, lads.
Good.
Thanks, Nova, Joe, Barney, Bandy, Brian, Wardy, Nora, Lee Smith, and everybody else who joined us in the chat. We'll see you again very soon.
Yeah,
Come
thanks,
on,
guys. Come on, Leeds. Let's have it on Saturday. Let's have